Hi, Arjun. How are you doing?
Hi Giri, how are you?
Very good, very good. How are you doing?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can absolutely hear you. How are you doing? How are you spending your
Fantastic.
time during the lockdown?
So actually, we are still working, to be honest. So
Sure,
our office is open, our warehouse is open, our manufacturing facility is open, and we are doing our best to
sure,
sort of be able to still stay open and provide people their Ayurvedic medicine. There is a challenge of getting team to the factory and the warehouse, but we are doing our best to get as many people as we can.
sure. So, Arjun, can you talk to us, for our viewers, can you talk to us about the sense of the value that the business is trying to create by Ayurveda? And especially given that in such difficult situations, how is Ayurveda going to help us to fight situations like this?
So I'll just walk you through maybe a 1 minute background of who we are, and then
Please.
talk about the present day and how sort of Ayurveda is really important,
Sure,
and how we have got support all the way till the sort of Prime Minister of the country, Minister of Commerce, Minister of Ayush, etc. I run a company called Dr. Vedyas.
sure,
Ayurveda has been in my family's legacy for the last 150 years. My grandfather, great grandfather, were Ayurvedic doctors. I inherited 100 plus formulations from my grandfather. He
sure,
ran a very successful Ayurvedic clinic,
sure,
but I always wanted to make it a business and a brand. So after my grandfather passed in 2016, I took his formulations, named the brand after him. That's why we're called Dr. Vedyas, as
sure,
a brand that makes Ayurveda appealing and accessible to modern consumers. We launched in 2016. In about 3.5 years, we've become India's largest Ayurveda brand online. So, we're an e-commerce focused Ayurvedic products brand that uses the power of digital to spread the message of Ayurveda. We
sure,
offer free consultations to all our patrons and users who come online to discuss with us. We have a range of 54 SKUs
sure.
across Ayurvedic products. I think Ayurveda has been sort of an integral part of Indian culture and legacy for a long time.
Sure.
But specifically for the crisis we are facing today, there's a lot of things that Ayurveda can offer. Now, there are a few people who have said that Ayurveda can cure coronavirus, homeopathy can cure coronavirus. That's completely false.
Sure.
As an industry, we are saying in no way we can cure these illnesses. But what we are saying is there are multiple precautionary measures you can take to build your immunity, to be able to get your body to prevent the onset of such illness, if possible.
Sure.
So, as the Prime Minister has sort of put out the Ministry of Ayush protocol, having things like Chavanprash, Haldi, Ashwagandha, these kind of herbs, Tulsi, on a daily basis are extremely helpful. Also, what's really, really important is that even if you are facing, let's say, not COVID 19, but other sort of things that may be symptoms of COVID 19, like a cough, cold, throat irritation, etc., we have enough and more available in Ayurveda, whether it's JT mud or herbs like that, adrak, pepper, pimpli mul, licorice, all of these herbs that are specifically focused on cough, cold, and throat irritation that can help you in this process. So that's what the industry is sort of trying to align itself and do. I think what's really encouraging is that we have support directly from the Prime Minister of the country, the
Sure.
Ministry of Ayush, the Ministry of Commerce. As an industry, we get on a call once a week with the Minister of Commerce, Piyush Goyal, on issues we are facing. Like allopathy and pharma, we are allowed to stay open in these times.
Sure.
And I think that's really, really sort of a lot of trust and support given to the science at this time.
So you mean to say not just COVID-19, but in general, this helps you to build the immunity?
Yeah, so Ayurveda and Ayurvedic herbs are in general immunity boosting, right? So at Dr. Vedyas, for example, sort of talk on Chavanprash. So we have a Chavanprash in capsule form called
Sure.
Herbofit and a Chavanprash in toffee form called Chakash. Now these are amla-based formulations with multiple herbs that help to build immunity. This is a product that we've been selling since the inception of the company, and has been a part of our range for a very long time. But what we're seeing is consumers that were not interested in immunity or did not care for the need for products for immunity are really, really interested and excited in this space right now. So that's a change we've seen.
Sure. So let us talk about the big picture. What do you think is the big picture for your startup? Is your product leading to something bigger? And how are you doing this process?
Yeah, so I think for us as a startup, the big picture for us prior to this crisis has always been that there is an inherent demand for Ayurvedic products in this country, right? That is
Sure.
there. Now we want to use the power of digital to be able to leverage this demand. So that's the big picture for us. In a short span of 3 years, we've been able to push this, build this, and really capture consumer interest towards Ayurveda through the power of digital. We interact with more than 5,000 customers on a daily basis. So prior to COVID, our idea was, look, Ayurveda has a lot to offer. Digitally, brands have not engaged with consumers. Brands have not engaged with consumers in a new age format. Brands have not put Chyawanprash in a toffee. That's our big picture. To be able to repackage 5,000 years of science into a format that's appealing and accessible to modern consumers. That was the big picture prior to COVID and still stays as the big picture. I think post COVID, as an industry, we have a bigger picture. And that bigger picture is to educate consumers on the importance of things like immunity, things like hygiene, things like daily health practices, things like practicing yoga and Ayurvedic home remedies to keep yourself healthy and immunized. These are things we've taken for granted for a very long time in India. And now, as a population, we need to understand that if something like this has happened, what can we do with our roots and our legacy? And that's why you see the Ministry of Commerce, the Ministry of Ayush, the Prime Minister talking so much about this. Because one thing that we have that other countries don't have is Ayurveda and Ayush. While we are doing everything else that other countries have done, including lockdown, social distancing, sort of containing hotspots and red zones, quarantining people, that every country has that, right? What we have, which other people don't have, is Ayush.
Ayush.
And so for us, I think as an industry, we need to put our hands and our bodies together, industry, researchers, hospitals, government, everyone put together and see what we can do both on a national and a global level to be able to spread the message of Ayurveda, but generally also reassure people in these difficult times on the importance for immunity.
Sure. So, Arjun, I've always been very curious to understand, since you come from a legacy of 150 years, can you give us some specific insights that you have about this market? Maybe something that's not available in the public domain as much?
Yeah. So I think one insight I'll give you, which a lot of people have missed, right? So when you talk and I talk and we talk to our friends and family, the people around us, it may be a lot of consumers from urban India, top 10 cities. Now, 83% of our consumers come from outside the top 10 cities. In the top 10 cities, you will say, yeah, Ayurveda, does this work? Is it real? इसमें कुछ research है? All of these questions, right? And so there is an inherent skepticism that you may see in a Bombay, Delhi, or a Bangalore towards Ayurveda. Now, if you go deeper into India, what people don't see is inherently these people believe in Ayurveda. Inherently, they know Ayurveda, they know the herbs, they understand the science. What they want is accessibility and high quality care and availability of trust. That's what we've been able to do very well through the power of digital and reach far and wide in India, right? So we deliver to Anantnag in Kashmir, we deliver to Imphal in the northeast, we deliver to the most remote parts of this country and give them access to an Ayurvedic doctor on a video call like this. So you can call our hotline and request a video call with an Ayurvedic doctor. Now that is allowing people across this country access to high quality care and trust, and then they are willing to transact. So people may say, yaar, Ayurveda mein belief hi nahi hai. Consumers don't know about Ayurveda. That is not the case. The case is consumers may know about Ayurveda, but they don't know where to get it, who is a trusted source, and that's what we're trying to bridge.
Do you think there's a change in the perception, the way Ayurveda was believed 5 years ago and today? I see a
So
lot
I
of
think,
my own parents started using Ayurveda, I think. I mean,
so I would say 2015 or 2014 onwards, Ayurveda has undergone a renaissance, right? So India got independence in 1947, but the British influence started in the 1800s, the deep influence of the British in India. At that time, with sort of culture, cricket, and trains, they also brought allopathy to India. We became inherently programmed to believe that allopathy is better, more research, and what they gave us is better. So India got independence, and the India of the 40s, 50s, 60s was an India that inherently believed in allopathy. go to 70s, 80s as well, when my dada was sort of establishing his practice, all his friends were allopathic doctors. He had no Ayurvedic doctor friends, right? There was a lack of trust towards Ayurveda. Now, when you talk about the 90s, right, where we grew up, right, in the 90s. So in the 90s, we were growing up in India obsessed with imported products. The market had opened. And so we believed, I was gifted a Japanese electronic sharpener for my 11th birthday. Imported products means acha hai. Indian means it's inferior quality, right? And so inherently Ayurveda was perceived as second fiddle, the poor cousin of allopathy. It's what your grandmother told you to have, but you never wanted to have it. It tasted bad, it looked bad, it looked like humbug to you, right? So that's what Ayurveda was perceived as. When I left India in 2009 for my undergrad in the US, I saw natural and organic products being perceived as better. I saw yoga being repackaged, yoga mats, yoga pants, yoga apparel, yoga gyms, 16 billion plus, $16 billion industry in the US. And I said, क्या हो रहा है यार? ये हमारा है. It's ours. Why have we let it go? So I came back to India in 2013, worked in private equity for 3 years, focused on the consumer sector at a fund called L Capital, Louis Vuitton Moet Hennessy's private equity fund. Now in 2014, we saw big change, right? Government change, Ministry of Ayush was created, unprecedented. We never had a ministry for our science, for Ayurveda, Yoga, Unani, Siddha, Homeopathy, Swarigpa. You also saw with the new government a renewed sense of national pride. Now, some people have taken it too far, become too nationalistic. Nationalism has gone a little bit far in certain instances. But in general, you saw people happy to be Indian, proud of our heritage. India gained some presence on global footing. But everywhere Prime Minister Modi goes, he talks about Ayurveda and yoga. Right? So, Patanjali revolution happened. All of these things have brought back this science, which was asleep, I say, from 1947 onwards.
Sure.
You have 5-6 big companies that did very well in Ayurveda, but then sort of stagnated, right? And there are brands that have done exceptional work like Himalaya in this space. But the science, I believe, had fallen asleep. And change of government, Patanjali revolution, change of consumer mindset has awoken this science, which had fallen asleep. So last 5-6 years have been exceptional, right? Colgate launching herbal toothpaste. Unilever restarting their Ayush line. These are things which are unprecedented, right? People who said, यार ये आयुर्वेद में कुछ interesting, exciting है नहीं, अभी आयुर्वेद पे आ रहे हैं, right?
Sure.
That's a big change.
Sure. So you spoke about Patanjali, right? So I want to forget the macro picture and talk to you about your venture. Is there any interesting success story during your venture so far? Would you like to share it with us?
Yeah, so I think what was a sort of complete unknown to us was, is there a possibility to build a brand of scale using just online? Right?
Sure.
And e-commerce, D2C brands, these have been built over the last 3-4 years. I mean, if you talk to someone in the early days of sort of e-commerce in India, and I was working in e-commerce investing in 2013, 14, 15, and you said a brand can be built without offline presence, people would say impossible.
Sure.
Today we have 100+ crore brands built without offline presence. And I think for us, the biggest success is Ayurveda has been built offline largely, right? If you look at the history of Ayurveda, the big brands in Ayurveda, they've been built offline. We said, can we change this and be able to build an Ayurveda brand using just the power of digital? So 95% of our sales come from online. We built our website as our most important platform of sales. 60% of our company sales come from our own website. 3,500 customers a day are transacting on just my website. While brands believe that third party is the way to go, we said, no, we want to own our customer journey. If you're buying a diabetes medicine and you're only buying for 1 month, and I know the dosage is 6 months, I have to be able to tell you, yaar, दूसरे, तीसरे, चौथे, पांचवें महीने वापस आपको लेना होगा. Now, if I buy it on Amazon, I have no visibility to data as well, right?
Sure.
So that also to establish a brand of scale just in the online space and be able to stand right next to the big brands on platforms like Amazon is not difficult, but we've been able to do that. And the other big success is global recognition, right? So we are the first Ayurveda brand ever to be featured in the Forbes 30 under 30 Asia list. First Ayurveda brand to be featured in the Business World 40 under 40 list. When Jeff Bezos came to India in Jan, we were the only Ayurveda brand to be awarded. So Jeff Bezos gave us the award for Youth SMB of the Year on Amazon. The Retail Association of India has given us the Retail Startup of the Year award. So in general, we are saying that it's possible to build a startup in Ayurveda. It's also possible to use the power of online to build brands across spaces. Whether it's cosmetics or tea or Ayurveda, this is a real thing, right? And that to me is a big success.
Fantastic. I think huge congratulations for that. Arjun, also talk to us about some of your assumptions when you entered this market and what are your learnings supposed to be in that?
I think all the assumptions were incorrect. I entered my business at the age of 24 with no experience in business. I thought यार cool products बेचने हैं, hangover का product बेचना है, उससे बड़ा brand बन जाएगा, right? I thought 2 products ही brand बन जाएगा. Now we are 54 products, and I really think the importance of having a range of products available to build the
Sure.
trust in the consumer's mindset. So 3 key assumptions that completely fell flat. One is cool products ही brand बनेगा. Only the cool product should work. I want to sell to customers like me. Scale is not built just selling to South Bombay and South Delhi. So we moved past just the cool products and did the cool as well as the what I consider not cool, but what has sort of cool factor in different parts of the country. That's number one. Number two, do not make assumptions of your customer until you've seen what the customer has to say. ये product 100% success होगा because I am saying it's a success. No. We have the good fortune of using the power of digital, our own website to test before you come up with your assumption. That's number 2. And number 3, most important assumption I talked about earlier as well is email से सब हो जाता है. नहीं होता है. कुछ नहीं होता है email से. I came from private equity. I wrote a lot of emails to people and I was just sitting on my desk saying नहीं हो रहा है, email से नहीं हो रहा है. Call से भी होता नहीं है. I mean, right now we are in sort of a lockdown. So we have to make do with calls, but the amount of times I've flown to a part of the country for a 20-minute meeting and spent 6 hours to get to that meeting, but it has to be done. Roll up your sleeves, work hard, but also understand that boss, email se hota nahi hai. It's not a remote control, right? And so today, and I'll share a video with you of I am packing the orders myself. So is my wife, who's our CEO, right? We are ourselves going to the warehouse and packing the orders because there are not that many people available and who can come to pack these orders, right? And so really for us, that's the real fun of a startup, right? Get
Sure.
your hands dirty, do the work yourself, have that grit to say, yeah, I'll take it on, whatever it is. Packing orders, doing customer calls, dispatching goods, unloading goods from a tempo. We've been doing it every day.
Sure. Arjun, talk to me also about some of your product SKUs and where do you source your raw materials from? Who's your users? And how did you exactly go about your user acquisition funnel?
Sure. So I'll talk to you about the SKUs. So we are broadly sort of 54 SKUs in 2 buckets. Illness
Sure.
and wellness. Illness would be more chronic ailment focused products like diabetes, arthritis, asthma, intestinal ailments, kidney ailments. The more sort of disease focused or ailment focused products. And then we have a full wellness range. In the wellness range, we have immunity, energy, hangover, sexual wellness, weight management, hair, skin, etc. So wide range of products in these spaces.
Sure.
In terms of sourcing, we source from across this country, right? So our kesar comes from Jammu and Kashmir. Our
Sure.
amla comes from Madhya Pradesh. So wherever the herb is best available, we source from there. Fortunately for us, we are using the same sourcing channel my grandfather used. So that age-old sourcing channel of trust, of quality, we have with us. Even though my
Okay.
grandfather never had a brand, he produced medicine for his clinic. I use the same sourcing channel as his clinic. We manufactured also in the same facility my grandfather set up in 1997. It's a 15,000 square foot facility in Silvassa, which is ISO 9001-2015 approved, GMP certified, Ministry of Ayush approved, and also US FDA registered now. So we've been able to sort of bring ourselves to that level of quality. When you talk about customer acquisition, it's using the power of digital and specifically interesting content to engage this consumer with easy to understand things. So let's say, for example, we are facing this crisis of COVID. 1 week into COVID, we developed an entire section on our website called Ayurveda and COVID-19. We have 10 blogs on things you really want to know. How to take care of a senior citizen at home. Home remedies and herbs you can have in the kitchen to help build your immunity. Foods you should not eat, including don't drink and smoke in this time because it will really affect your immunity.
Sure.
How to take care of your partner and your family at home. So these things are really important, right? And we constantly try to engage our consumer in this manner. We understand Ayurveda is complicated for someone who has no knowledge. So we make it simple for you. What is Chyawanprash? Chyawanprash is immunity energy booster. What does it contain? Amla. Amla is antioxidant. Very few people know that 65% of Chyawanprash is amla. But the main antioxidant component of Chyawanprash is amla.
Sure.
So we make that messaging easy to consumers. So for example, if you go on our website and you're on the homepage for let's say 30 seconds, you'll get a pop-up to join a WhatsApp group. We have 75 WhatsApp groups running with 200 plus people. So 15,000 people on a daily basis between 7:30 and 8:30 in the evening get a tip from us. It's a tip on Ayurveda. Herbs, yoga asanas you can practice, home remedies, doshas, illnesses and its relationship with Ayurveda. So right now, since lockdown, we've been giving you just lockdown focused content.
Sure.
What can you do at home?
Sure.
So that's what we try to do. We
Nobody
try to
thinking
simplify
of a
the
longer
messaging.
picture is what you mean to say.
Sorry?
Nobody's really thinking of a longer picture is what you mean to say.
Yeah, one is a longer picture and two is easy to understand content. That's how we
Sure.
acquire users. That's most important.
Sure. Arjun, talk to us about whom do you consider as some of your direct and indirect competitors, and also how do you differentiate from them?
So I think the bigger brands are aspirational. I cannot say that Dabur is a competitor. I cannot say that Himalaya is a competitor, Patanjali is a competitor. Those are aspirational. These are 1,000+ crore companies, and we learn a lot from them. We sort of understand their playbook and aspire to be them. I think there are certain things we do right in this space which those brands may not do, but there are things they've done for years that are right which we've not been able to do. So I think these are aspiration. What's very interesting about our sector is out of 10,000 Ayurvedic, 10,000 approximately 10,000 Ayurvedic license holders in the country, 9,500 of them do less than 6 crores in turnover.
Okay.
So it's an industry categorized by a lot of small manufacturers, and I think that is something we really want to change.
Sure.
We want to uplift the entire sector. We want
Sure.
everyone to grow.
Sure. Arjun, also, can you talk to us about some of your growth plans, short-term and long-term growth plans?
Yeah, so the short-term growth plans is we are trying to do whatever we can to reassure consumers.
Sure.
We've got our website and our third-party platforms back up and running, and we're able to sort of engage with consumers and keep their medicine going. From a medium-term perspective, we believe consumer behavior will evolve. Categories like immunity, energy, hygiene, cough, cold, home cleaning, disinfection, these kind of things will evolve. While we have some products in this space, we will be launching more products because we know we'll enter a world which is very different. So a large section of India did not care for immunity, right? That
Sure.
section of India will start caring for immunity now. So Chyawanprash market, which was 600-700 crores per year for the last 10 years, has now seen a 30 to 40% increase in demand. Unprecedented. India has
Sure.
never seen this. So in the medium term, we'll prepare ourselves for the new world after COVID and continuously engage and innovate in this space. In the long term, I think where we really want to see growth is build further position of strength on the online space. That's our bread and butter. That's what we're good at. Look at offline from a strategic perspective and opportunistically. So don't change from online brand to an offline brand. But some
Sure.
offline presence is important. And also, I think this year was a year for global expansion. We launched in the US in January. We've launched in Sri Lanka. We had set a goal for this year to launch in 6 markets outside of India. We've done 2. While this period will be very difficult to launch outside of India, I think getting out of this period, globally there will be an increase in demand for these kind of products. And so we want to. So if you see our products, and you buy any product of ours, it says proudly Indian on the product.
Sure.
We are genuinely, and my T-shirt. On this part of my T-shirt, I have the Indian flag as well, right? This is our Dr. Vedya's T-shirt.
Amazing.
So,
Amazing.
so we want to see this mark of India around the world, not just our brand. We want to see Ayurveda as a global phenomenon. Yoga studied global, but India didn't have much to do with it.
Now, what are we
Now
talking
we're
about?
reclaiming yoga.
It belongs to
But-
us. We started this tradition, I think.
No, we started the tradition, but we want to take it global as well. Yeah, yoga wasn't taken global by India. It was
Sure.
taken global by America. So Ayurveda should be taken global by India. Value the tradition.
Sure. Arjun, also, can you talk to us about some of the challenges that you faced during the journey? What has been
Yeah,
your
so
biggest failure that you think? What did you learn from some of these challenges? Nothing?
Yeah, I think building a brand is really easy. Yeah, I mean very difficult. It's not easy at all. So from scratch, my dada had some name in Bombay. But from scratch to build a brand of sort of pan-India presence, extremely difficult, right? So to get your first set of customers, to convince your first set of customers that you're a trustworthy brand, how to engage with these customers, to build the brand DNA, to then go forward and say that, trust our product, trust our brand. Extremely difficult. The first challenge is building the brand. And for the first 2 years, we actually faced encountered almost no success. Learned a lot, right? Two products don't work. I think also building a team is very difficult. So initially, when you're not able to sort of have sales, not able to have a big brand, not able to have investors, bootstrap the company, I think building a team was a big challenge, but we've done a reasonably okay job and built a very strong team now. I mean, all those teams that are working as hard in work from home are teams that actually care for brand. And I think our team is working as hard in work from home. That's exciting for us. So I think team and brand were two big challenges we faced, and it takes time. To say that a consumer products brand is built overnight is very difficult. So it took us a lot of time. And I think 2 years of hitting our head against the wall and saying it's not working. What do we need to do to improve? Those were big challenges and learnings. Big challenges. It's not an easy road to build a consumer brand.
So you spoke about some of the larger brands like Dabur as well. How are you pricing your product in that process? What's your thought process? Is it relative or not relative at all? Nothing
Yeah,
to do
I
at all.
think we're not a luxury brand. We don't price ourselves out of market. We like to be mid-market.
Sure.
We don't want to be expensive. So if you see our range, other than 4 products, 2 in the sexual wellness space for men, 1 in the sexual wellness space for women, and 1 muscle gain product. The rest are all below 200 rupees. So,
Sure.
bulk of India should be able to afford the product. What is different though is we sell proprietary formulations. There is no direct competitor for our product because our formulation is unique. So it's not apples to apples. Amla ka capsule hai to amla ka capsule hai. No, we're not selling amla in a capsule. We're selling a polyherbal or multi-herbal formulation, synergizing the actives of multiple herbs, right? And so there is no direct competitor to every single product. Having said that, we're not a premium brand, and we don't want to be a premium brand at Dr. Vaidya's. We want a bulk of India to be able to afford our products.
I think excellent. I mean, it's brilliant conversation. I think. What are some of your advices to the young entrepreneurs, given that you have 150 years of experience to bank upon, but people who are starting fresh in this industry right now in Ayurveda, what are your advices to entrepreneurs who are starting afresh today?
So I think for me, 150 years of Ayurveda legacy, but brand was zero, right? So we started as any entrepreneur would start from zero. I think the one important sort of characteristic, and I say this to most folks, is grit. Everything else you can learn, right? Along the way. How to run a business, how to build a team, how to build a brand, how to grow a business, how to scale a business. But along the way, you'll see a lot of failure, right? And there are days when I've been depressed, not left my room got back from work on a Friday, didn't leave my room till Monday when I went back to work. It's a roller coaster ride, everyone says it, but really that grit and that thick skin to be able to take the criticism and the failure and say, nahi, main try karunga, right? Like, for example, Zomato and Swiggy are delivering essentials now. Zomato said no. I don't believe our product is good enough. I could have said Swiggy se bhi, they'll say no, right? Doesn't make sense. But I genuinely believe there's a need to deliver our products to people at this time. And what Zomato and Swiggy are doing is of a lot of value. I went to Swiggy. Swiggy has agreed. We'll be listing on Swiggy this week. And Dr. Vaidya's Ayurvedic products will be available on Swiggy. That's unprecedented, right? Now I'll go back to Zomato and say, Swiggy kar rahe ho, aap kyun nahi kar rahe ho? And try. Worst case, they say no, right?
Sure. I think very interesting. Any shout outs that you'd like to give, Arjun, during the entire journey of Dr. Vaidya? To any of your mentors, advisors, investors, customers?
I think shout out to 2 backbones, right, that you have as an entrepreneur. One is it's a very lonely journey, and sometimes when you're starting up, when you're facing a lot of failure, can't share with your team as much. So family is very important, right? To be able to have those people to support you. And we have an entrepreneurial family, right? My dada and somebody was an entrepreneur. My father's an entrepreneur in a separate space. So they understand the sort of trials and tribulations of being an entrepreneur. So I think family, big shout out, because when you have no one to support you, they are there. And then team, right? To come to work during lockdown, to support when the brand was small as well, to fight every day in the marketplace, because as you have success, you want the next milestone, right? So
Sure.
team, big shout out to the team as well to be working as hard during lockdown, but also to be there in the process. 3 years tough journey.
Fantastic. Sure. Arjun, thank you so much. This was a very insightful discussion, I believe. This was a great discussion. This was one of the discussions I was looking forward to have. And it's been a great discussion. Anything that you'd like to add?
No, I think amazing work, great platform, and thanks for your time, and thanks for
Thank
sharing
you
our
so
story.
much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All the best to
Thanks,
you.
Giri. Take care.
Wish you all the love. Stay safe. Take care.
Thank you. Stay safe.
Thank, thank, bye. Take care.